Okay, so hello everybody, this is DJ How. My name is William. Alright. Now, I know that many people today are still talking about age verification and stuff like that, but I want to take a break from that and talk about something else right now. Okay? Don't worry, I'm still fighting against age verification. I just want to talk about other things besides that. Today I'm going to talk about the gun laws that we have here in California. Okay? Yes. Guns. Yeah. Alright. Okay, let's talk about that now. So, I play Unreal Gold and Unreal Tournament on Unreal Mythology. Well, that's just a video game, and I love that game. And I also play Total Annihilation and Total Annihilation of Kingdoms, right? Well, yes. But, we have to learn something here. So, the Bible does say that Christians should own a weapon. I don't have a gun right now. But when I have a house of my own, guess what? I will defend myself. I will protect myself. I will carry a gun to protect myself. Because the Bible does say that Christians should own a weapon. Okay? I'm going to talk about that today because, that's what the Bible does say. Christians should own a weapon, right? To defend themselves from bad people, right? And it is true, you can't call the police. That's true. But what if you can't call the police? What if you don't have time to call the police? This is why you have to learn this. And I've been learning about a lot of bad things. I've been learning a lot of bad people here in California. People shoplifting and having everything locked up at the stores. I mean the alcohol and the cleaning because all people do is want to shoplift them. Shoplift the store, and that's not good. Yes. Well, not just so. Yeah, there are bad people here in the U.S. And California is one of them. It's just that we need to do is, well, of course, fight back against those guys, just like we're fighting back against age verification. All right, so let's see. Today, I'm going to show you the gun laws we have here in California, so that way you can stay legal when you're owning a gun as a Bible-believing Christian in California. Alright. Because that's where I live, anyway. Okay, so if you want to know, okay, let's take a look. I'm going to Google it because that way you can learn about this. Okay, so that's today. Let's learn about this. Okay, and I will go put this. Oh yeah, and here's the Wikipedia's version if you want to read. If you want to read Wikipedia, all right. The gun laws that we have here in California. I'm going to read to you. Okay, Here, I'll put these articles right here. Okay, so you can read it to yourself. But I'm just going to read it from Brave. Alright, so that you know. So California has the strictest gun laws in the United States. Alright, this is what you have to learn about. Regulating purchase, possession, and carrying the storage of firearms. So this is something you have to learn about. Okay? if you want to have a gun, if you're a Christian and you want to have a gun to defend yourself and you live in California. This is something I have to learn about. You know, because it's just, you know, I'm trying to help you be safe. So, purchasing and ownership. So, firearm and certificate. So, acquired for firearm purchases must be obtained by passing a written test, administered by DOJ certificate administrator, the FSC, valid for 5 years. Wow, okay, yeah. And then background checks. Okay, so mandatory all firearm sales, including private and gun show transactions, all sale must go through the licensed dealer. Now, waiting period. 10-day only replies to purchases a receipt of firearm. Okay, now. So now the requirement is that minimum age is 21 to purchase any firearm. So you have to be 21 or older? Okay. Well, that's something. Now, it's you must be a California resident or active duty military, honorably retired military or peace officer to purchase a firearm. Oh, okay. Now, firearm registration and tracking. So, handguns and long guns must be registered within the California Department of Justice. All handguns, serial numbers, sales are recorded of DOJ's automated firearm systems. Now, new residents must have handguns purchased outside of California within 60 days. Now, pre-1991 handguns not required for register. But possession without DOJ registration is a felony if a firearm is not on file. Now, assault weapons, high-capacity magazines. So, assault weapons ban is the prohibits possession, sale, is manufacture assault weapons and PNG rifles, including the semi-automatic center rifles and shotguns. Specific features of bullet-button magazines. Weapons acquired before January 1st, 2017, and must be registered by 2018. Now, magazine capacity 10-round limit for all handguns and long guns. Possession of magazines holding more than 10 rounds is illegal through enforcement and possession ban. It is currently blocked by federal court ruling. However, the manufacturer reports to transfer long capacity magazines remain illegal. So the concealed carry, legal only for California concealed carry weapons license. Applications are released at least 21. Pass a background check. Complete 16-hour firearms training course and demonstration good cause of the good moral character. Open carry, generally prohibited in public. The expression of residents of counties, population under 200,000 may attain license to carry loaded hose handgun. And now, vehicle carry. The handguns must be unloaded of the store of the locked container or truck of the concealed carry vehicle without permit is illegal. This is why. Now, where you can and cannot carry. Oh yeah. So permanent locations are permitted. Schools. All right. Within 1,000 feet of grounds. Hospitals, public transport, airports, polling places, government buildings, places of worship, bars, restaurant, parks, and most public events. Any location where firearms are banned by federal or state law. Yeah. Now, private property. The home, business, and own land. The only way from a hunting and fishing expedition is loaded as secured of law container. I'm just trying to show you how to defend yourself. Now, the red flag law. Allow family members, law enforcement, school personnel, petition for a gun violence is the registration order if someone poses a threat. Ammunition. Background checks are required for all persons without state ammunition, purchases of non-lethal weapons. Now, pepper spray under 2.5 ounces, standardized lethal devices. Running guns under require of the conditions. Now, gun-free zones. Schools, covered buildings, and the public spaces are strictly enforced. And now, California's laws are continuing evolving, especially of the court rulings and legislation. And most information comes to the Court of Justice of Office of Attorney General. So these are the gun laws that we have here. And I got on Google too. So California has some of the strictest gun laws in the U.S., requiring universal background checks, a 10-day period, a minimum of 21 for all firearm purchases, and firearm safety certificate. Key regulations of bans of assault weapons magazines exceeding 10 rounds, and security regulations like concealed carry, CCW permits. And I'll let you read this part too. Oh, this is from the Sacramento website. Well, I'll let you read that. Okay. Try to help you prepare for defense. Because that's what we have here in the U.S. But okay, so now let's read the purchase requirements. So the key California gun laws, I have it on Google. So purchase requirements is a valid VSC required for purchase firearms, including written test. All firearm transfers were through a licensed dealer. Now, waiting period. A 10-day waiting period applies to all firearm purchases. Now, age requirements. You must be at least 21 to purchase handguns, rifles, or shotguns. Oh, yeah. And then also guns and magazines. It is illegal to buy, manufacture, import assault weapons and magazines for more than 10 rounds. And then concealed carry, a CTW. Carrying of the concealed public of the CTW license issued a local law enforcement requires training. California does not recognize CTW permits from other states. Now, open carry. Openly carry loaded or unloaded handguns is publicly generally prohibited. Now, safe storage. Firearms must be compliant in a firearms safety device, FSD, at the time of purchase. Now, red flag laws. California allows for temporary gun removal from individuals deemed of danger of themselves or others. And new residents. Individuals moving to California must register their firearms with the State Department for Justice in 60 days. Now, prohibited persons, individuals, felonies, certain violent misdemeanors of specific mental health, and preventive of owning, possessing firearms. Or you could visit, or you could visit this website here. Okay, this is very, Okay, so you say in strictest gun laws. So let me tell you something. Yes, it is true. The gun laws are very overkill here in California. So, yeah. It's going to be hard. That's why. But this is what you have to do in order to protect yourself. And I'm trying to help you guys. I'm a Bible-believing Christian that lives in California. And I'm trying to help you guys. So yeah, California's gun laws are overkill, but that just means that we have to learn something here, huh? We can still learn about it. You know? But this is what you have to do. You know, these are the directions that you have to do in order to defend yourself. You know? So yes. So the computer on the way is. And yes, I do believe that Christians should own a weapon. And this is what I try to tell you guys. You know, another way to protect yourself, like protecting your computer, is to use a VPN. I have Proton VPN, which is from the Proton company in Switzerland. You know, that's why. You know, I'm connected to the US, but I can also connect to other countries if I want to. You never know which country you want me to connect to on this VPN. You know? This is just the free version of Proton VPN. I don't have it paid right now because right now I don't have... Well, right now I don't have a job right now because I'm still going to school. But once I start working, then I will use the paid version of Proton VPN. Okay? Because this is something you have to learn about, you know. You know, yeah. Once I start working, I'll start using the paid version of Proton VPN. Okay? And then you can let me know which country you want me to connect to. You know, that's why. You know, later on in the future, you know, that's why. I'm still trying to finish with school and stuff. You know, that's why. Yeah. And I'm using Windows. You know, that's why. Windows 10. I don't want to upgrade to Windows 11. And I know that Microsoft is trying to fix Windows 11, but I think they should create Windows 12. You know, that's just my answer anyway. But that's just me anyway. You know. And I don't know how to use Mac OS, and I don't know how to use Linux either. I just don't. Okay? I just been using Windows for years. Okay? And, you know, Proton VPN is good. I don't know if it's the best VPN. You know? Because some people like it. You know, some people like better VPNs. You know, that's why. Yeah, Proton VPN, that's the one I use. If you don't know which country you want me to connect to, you know. Well, right now I'm connected to the US, but you know. Oh yeah, I could even connect to Taiwan. And yeah, but I'll do that later. I'm not sure. Yeah, 129 countries is what I connect to on the paid version, but what about the free version? You see. Yeah. So that's it. Oh. Let me close Microsoft Edge. I don't know why I'm on there too. And yes. So, those are the gun laws we have here in California. Now, let me tell you something, alright? And I've been learning on Twitter about this. And yes, I've been learning on the people. I learned that there's a lot of. What is it, Mom? I'll be right back. Yes, Mom?
You want chicken, you want Chinese food, or do you want a sandwich?
I don't know yet, Mom.
Well, pick one before we, so maybe we can go get them with the car. I was thinking about Chinese food, but I wasn't sure if you wanted them or a sandwich.
At where?
At Pandy?
Panda Express?
Yeah.
Okay.
I get
that's
Daniel's sandwich over there at Jersey Mike's again.
That's fine, Mom.
Mm-hmm. And Daddy wants a chicken soft taco. I don't want no chicken. They got mashed potatoes gravy. Mashed potato gravy, you can still eat that if you want. Daddy said he probably want that too. It's still in the refrigerator. You still want that.
No, I ate all that already.
There's more, isn't there?
No, there
No?
isn't.
Eat them all?
Yes.
Ugh. Let me go make sure. Daddy about that.
Anyway, I was going to say something. Anyway. All right. Now, I was going to say something right now. All right. Now, I've been hearing about a lot of operating systems refusing to do age verification. And you know what? It just tells me I have to call representatives to get this operating systems law removed here in California. Well, I'll call them again this week and next week too, okay? To make sure this law is removed. But I'm trying to tell you guys, all right? You know, I'm trying to help you guys, you know, how to do self-defense and stuff. You know, that's why. So you can learn how to defend yourself, and that's why. Anyway, you know, so do you like the gun laws in California? Or you don't like them? You can let me know if you don't like them. You can, you know, if you like them or don't like them. You can let me know in the comments below, and that's okay. We're still here to talk about them, you know, and you can hopefully, you know, learn, you know, learn about them, you know, that's why, you know, so you can be legal and learn how to defend yourself, you know. Yeah, I know it's just terrible that California's gun laws are overkill, but you know, this is what happens. You have to learn about it, you know. It's just terrible, and you have to learn about, yeah. You know, it's just something you have to do. But yeah. It's just something you have, you know, pretty hard, you know. Anyway, I'll talk about more. There's other things I do want to talk about, you know. Yeah, maybe next video I'll talk about the e-bike laws and the traffic laws. I have to talk about those two next here in California. And then I'll get into other things because, and I'll talk about why do I live in the U.S. as well. I want to talk about that too. So. So, let me know in your comments below if you like or don't like the gun laws here in California. You know, let me know in the comments below so we can talk about them. So, because we know we can talk about them. You know, that's why. You know. You know, yeah, I know they're overkill, but that's why we have to learn about them. That's why. Anyway, so I'll talk about next video is, well, I might talk about why do I live in the U.S. Maybe I'll talk about that next video, but if I talk about any more laws that we have here in California. Alright, so I'll talk about that next video. Alright? Because, you know, and I'm glad there's some, and you know, I'm glad there's some operating systems. I'm glad there's some operating systems. There are many operating systems out there on Twitter that are refusing to do age verification. That's great and all, but I still have to get this law we have here removed. Yeah, I know the operating systems law. I'll try to get that removed here in California, but I keep calling them. But I'll just keep calling my representatives until I do it. But, you know, it's just something I have to do. But, you know, if you live in California, you can also do it for me as well, because I need more help, because I'm always need help. If you don't, if you live outside of California, you can always make sure it's not spread to your state. You know, and these very strict gun laws that we have here in California, well, you can also call your representatives to make sure this does not come to your state here in the U.S. You know, that's why. It's just something you have to learn about. If you don't like the gun laws we have here in California. If you do, that's fine. You know, this is something we could talk about, and you know, it's just something we can learn about. You know, I was raised in California, so that's why, and I live in California. That's why I want to talk about the one here in California. I don't know about the ones in your states, so yeah. Anyway, I'll talk about it. So I'll talk about why do I live in the U.S. I'll talk about it in the next video. United States of America. Well, I'll talk about it in the next video because I have to go right now. But thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. Say goodbye. Adios and Zai-chan. Alright, so I've got to tell you something. So make sure you watch my How to Go to Heaven video on Rumble. Okay? On, you know, if you want to know how to go to heaven. You know, that's why. Alright, and now I'll tell you about, okay, and then I will find out what, and I think I will, and you can, and then just watch my How to Go to Heaven video on Rumble if you haven't. Anyway, I have to go right now. So, thank you, and goodbye, friends.